Hey guys, what is going on? My name is Thornton and welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a look at a more budget-friendly wireless mouse, and this one's from Steelseries, and it's called the Rival 3 Wireless. Stick around to hear about the build quality, features, and performance this mouse has to offer, and to see whether it's going to be right for you. Let's go ahead and hop right into it. You can find this mouse for $49.99, or we'll just say $50 on Steelseries website, which puts it in a place to be competing with Logitech's G305 wireless offering. Steelseries doesn't really have a super lightweight option to compete with some of the other brands such as Razer or Glorious, but it's nice seeing them explore this more budget-friendly option. Out of the box, besides getting the mouse itself, which you'll see in the B-roll, I had a heck of a time getting it out, you get the mouse itself. You get a couple AAA batteries to help you get going as far as power, and then also the dongle is going to be stored inside the mouse along with an instruction pamphlet to get you going. One of the big selling points of this mouse, and also directly on the box and in their marketing, is that you can get up to 400 hours of battery life with this thing. That is going to be with two AAA batteries in the back, so if you are only using it with one to try to cut that weight a little bit, obviously you can expect around half of that at 200 hours, which is still absolute load of battery life, so you're not going to have to worry about this thing running out on you very soon. As far as connectivity goes, it's really nice to see this on just a $49 mouse, but you actually get two options. You can either use the Bluetooth mode, or you can use it in its 2.4 gigahertz wireless, which is taking advantage of SteelSeries Quantum 2.0 wireless technology. As far as Bluetooth goes, it's going to be really nice for those of you that are wanting to use it either as a travel mouse, or maybe you're wanting to go between different PCs with it, or for your Mac users. And to use it in its 2.4 gigahertz wireless mode, or that Quantum 2.0 wireless technology, you are going to have to use that dongle, which is stored in the back of the mouse, the back mouse compartment where your batteries are at. And that's, so far for me, given me absolutely no issues with the connection. Really nice, steady connection, no lag on the mouse at all. Let's go ahead and touch on the weight and build quality of this thing, and that's going to be one of the kickers of this mouse, because even though it is only 85 grams with just a shell, you do have to obviously use batteries to power it. So with those two AAA batteries in there, it's going to bring that weight all the way up to 107 grams, which is pretty heavy. The thing is though, is you can pop one of those out and still just run it on one, obviously just expecting your battery life not to last as long, but 200 hours is still an absolute ton of battery life, and that's going to bring your weight down to 96 with just that one AAA in there. If you want to go hardcore at this and get it down even more, you can use something like lithium batteries, and that might drop you a few more grams if you find that worth it to you. So this mouse obviously isn't the most lightweight for gaming purposes, but with a wireless mouse at this price point, obviously not expecting it to be super light either, and it still is competitive with Logitech's G305 offering, coming in at the G305 does come in at 10 grams lighter when they both are completely loaded with batteries, but if you do pop one of these out, you're looking at about right around the same weight. As far as the shell itself goes, it is just a matte black plastic finish on it. I found the coating to be a little bit smooth on it for my liking. Obviously that could be fixed with just some aftermarket grips if that's something you want to do. For me personally, I do have a little bit larger hands, and since this mouse is a little bit on the smaller side, it does naturally want to throw my hand right into a claw grip, and it does feel really good for that. Though, you could easily do fingertip on this too if you want to. I just personally don't like fingertip very much, so I'd say this mouse is definitely going to be meant for those of you that do enjoy a claw grip already or a fingertip grip. And if you do have smaller hands, you might be able to get into a palm on this. Just for me personally, I have to put my wrist so far back that it doesn't work for me in a palm style grip. If you have used the Rival 3 before this is an absolute spitting image of it. As far as the dimensions go, obviously there's a little bit more weight involved here, and then you're not having that cord on there. So for those of you that used that before, if you like that shape, you're obviously going to like this one too. For those of you that haven't though, this is a right-handed ergonomic shape, and you have these nice hips on the back here. Nice streamlined front, and those hips really help you do lock in for something like a claw grip or into a fingertip grip, and so far the shape has felt really nice for me using it. You do get 6 buttons on this mouse, which are all programmable within their software, and so far they have felt really nice, but before we talk any more about them, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a sound test. These are using Steelseries mechanical switches, which are rated up to 60 million clicks, so probably not going to have to worry about running that out before you'll actually need a new mouse in general. Very little pre-travel. There is a little bit there, and I'll try to get some close-up shots of you for that. I can tell it's there, but it doesn't bother me that bad. But the post-travel is basically non-existent. Overall, as far as for a $50 wireless mouse, I would say the clicks are really good. Not much pre or post-travel on those front left or right clicks, and not much side play at all. They're very solid and well built into the frame. Following that right to the side buttons as well, very little side play in that as well. They are a little bit mushy, but I mean, you're really hard pressed to find a mouse that doesn't have a little bit of play in those side buttons, especially on that post-travel, but still following that same theme with the front clicks. Really nice, not much pre-travel at all, really clicky and responsive overall. As far as the mouse wheel goes, it is a very smooth mouse wheel. There's not a really loud tactile click to you're doing it. It is more like you're going over those smooth bumps, but you can definitely still feel the tactile bump as you're rolling over it. Right down below that, you'll have your DPI button. At least that's what it's preset to in the software. Obviously, you can customize that to something else if you would like. And that's just gonna allow you to switch between your 5 different stages and your DPI that you have set in the software itself. Going on to the bottom of the mouse, down here is where you're gonna get your switch to be between your either Bluetooth connectivity mode or your 2.4 gigahertz wireless connection. And when that switch is in the middle position, it is gonna be completely off. I will mention though that even if you do have it in one of its connectivity modes and you just leave it sitting there, it will go to sleep after a certain period of time, which you can actually allot that in the software as well, how long you want to wait until it does go to sleep. One thing to note also is that if you try to move it, it's not gonna just wake up after it is sleeping. You actually have to physically click a button to wake it up, probably just to help save the battery life with it. As far as the skates go on the bottom, you get one big one in the back, and then you get 2 in the front, which are split. It does provide really good glide, nothing absolutely amazing. Obviously, if you want to, you could also remedy that with some aftermarket skates on here if you wanted to get that glide even better. For the sensor on this, it's using a TrueMove Air sensor, which gives you a DPI range of all the way from down to 100, all the way up to 18,000, and you can adjust that in stages of 100 into your preset profiles in the software itself, of course. So far, Steelseries has been using these TrueMove sensors in basically all their mice. I've never heard anything bad about them, and so far my experience with it, it's been really spot on, giving me absolutely no issues as far as tracking in game or movement in general. Quickly touching on the lighting and software that you get with this mouse, you'd only have one lighting area, and that's gonna be on your scroll wheel, and that's also how they're able to save on that battery life with just only having one RGB lighting zone. You can also use this to monitor your battery life and for things like in-game notifications, which is a cool feature to have included. Another feature you get to is as soon as you start moving that mouse, the RGB lighting will shut off. You can change that in the software if you don't want to shut off, but it's cool that because as soon as you're moving that mouse, you're probably not gonna be looking at it anyways, so it's a cool feature to have included to save even more on the battery life itself. You do get 4 different lighting effects to choose from in their software, which you can adjust things like the color and the speed of the movement if you do using an effect that has that in there as well. You also get an option to turn it just completely off if you want to try to save on the battery life even more, or maybe you just don't like RGB lighting. You can also adjust things like your polling rate, your snapping angles, acceleration in there too. I found the software to have an adequate amount of options and also be pretty simple to use. Overall, I really like what Steelseries did here with this mouse. I really do feel they offer you good build quality and features, especially having that Bluetooth mode along with that 2.4 gigahertz wireless. That's gonna be really nice for those of you that want a nice, good entry-level wireless gaming mouse, but maybe also wanna travel or maybe switch it between your PCs. It's gonna work really good for that. And for the price they're asking for it, I do think it is a steal of a deal. And if any of you are maybe thinking about purchasing, I would say I definitely recommend it. Obviously, keep in mind, this is a little bit on the smaller side, so it's gonna be better for those of you that maybe like to use claw grip or fingertip grip, or if you have smaller hands, you might be able to get into a palm on this. Thank you all so much for watching. I just wanna say I really do appreciate all the nice comments you guys leave and the support I'm getting on these videos. And if you did find this one helpful or informative, please do hit that like button again and consider subscribing for more content like this in the future, and I'll see you guys in the next one.